Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, exciting day. I have something exciting to show you guys. Something that Bitcoin hasn't done in 11 months. Last time Bitcoin did this, when it was around $10,000, and it went on a crazy pump from $10,000 to $64,000. So what is that? I'm going to let you guys know. Also, what else is there to say about Solana? It continues to pump, and there's good reason for it. And also, things are coming back up. People are breathing easier again. Today, it's just a good day. So let's talk about what's going on in the world of crypto. So thanks for tuning in. As always, smash up the like, subscribe to the channel. 2 streams almost every day, 11:30 and 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you hit that notification bell and follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and check out all the latest news, articles, and guides on CryptosRUs.com. All right, guys, welcome. Welcome. Today, people are feeling better. People are breathing easier when there was no reason to be panicking anyways. So, Bitcoin is back up to 45.8, trying to break 46,000 again. Things are moving again. You look at the overall market cap closing in at 2 trillion again, and you have movers like Solana. It's up 15%, almost $80 today. I mean, it's just absolutely insane. There's nothing else you could say. But besides that, Terra, Luna continues to go up too, almost like neck and neck with Solana. And then you have other movers too, like Quant took up a big jump today, although this market cap is not correct. Quant is actually not 8.5 billion. So I let the team know on live coin watch. But you can see that there are still other movers and things are just coming up. But you have some crazy movers, and I'm going to explain who they are and why. All right, so what is this thing that didn't happen since September of 2020? September of 2020. Well, that is the weekly MACD and how it just turned green. All right, so I'm normally not a TA guy, but I do like the long-term TA because it does show you, it gives you a bigger picture or a bigger indication of what may be coming. And I saw this, okay? You could clearly see when Bitcoin fell down to about 28,000, MACD basically was in the red. And then it started to turn back, right? That was a pretty good indication that was a bottom indicator. And things are definitely moving up. And you can see right now, well, no, you can't see because my camera, I'm just going to shut off my camera. Look, I just disappeared. Now I'm back. Now I'm gone again. But anyways, you can see that MACD down here turned green, right? And it has not been green since April 12th. And that was when Bitcoin was still above $60,000. Okay, so it has turned green again. But when was the last time it was red at all? You have to just go back right here. Briefly in September, right? That was when Bitcoin was still at 10,800. That was a very brief stint. And since then, since September 28th, and since Bitcoin being at 10,600, it just went up and up all the way to $64,000. And now, with this brief little dip that we had for 2 weeks, guess what? We're seeing that again. So does that mean we could see a 6x run from where we are now, bring Bitcoin to above 200,000, possibly to 300,000? Maybe. And you know what? According to Plan B, you know what? That's exactly what's happening. So again, he posted S2, stock to flow, and he's looking at it and he's like, you know what? The bull market is not over at all. And if you look at this one, this is the stock to flow X, which actually puts or predicts that Bitcoin is going to be above 100,000. This is the one that predicts Bitcoin is going to go to 250,000, which would more or less align with that 6x I just talked about. So you could see this looks very, very similar. What we're seeing right now, very, very similar to 2013. You know, we're in the stage where kind of like mid-orange, not light orange, mid-orange. And if you look at 2013, that's exactly what happened. You could see the green, okay? There was like a mid-top, came down a little bit, and then toward the end of the year, it just shot up to the moon. And that is what it's looking like right now. And not just because TA tells you that or stock to flow tells you that, but just look at what has been happening behind the scenes with all the buying and adoption and everything else going on. So that's really what's driving the market and why these metrics in technical analysis supports that theory, because there's actually a lot of adoption and buying going on. If there was nothing out there, like there's no news out there about banks or countries or companies that's jumping in or buying, then all this is nonsense. Then it's complete 100% speculation. But we have data, we have true data that supports all this, which is why you have to, sometimes you just have to put 2 and 2 together. You can't just rely on one thing. But when you add it all together, it's looking fantastic. Looking like we're exactly where we should be. And that's fantastic. So, very, very positive. What else is there? Well, I saw this article about Bitcoin's realized price breaks all-time high. And what the hell is a realized price? Well, realized price is actually measuring price of real trades. Okay? All the Bitcoins that are actually trading. And it actually broke through a new high. So this discounts a lot of the whale wash trading, which may drive things up or down with just a ton of trades, or with the derivative market, with order books on a derivative market, which may be driving prices up or down, although they're not actually trades. So this is actually measuring real trades. And right now, Bitcoin's realized price actually breaks all-time high, which again supports the theory that there is actually a lot of buying going on. This isn't just fake. It's not just the whales playing games. Well, though there are whales that's still playing games, but this shows, there's a lot of adoption. So much adoption, and this is why we all need to be in the game. All right, what else is there? Well, a major European football club gets a Bitcoin-only sponsorship deal. Netherlands PSV Eindhoven is the first European football club to have an entire sponsorship paid in Bitcoin after signing a deal with the Dutch crypto company Anycoin Direct. Well, it just makes sense. It's a crypto company, and of course they want to make a name for themselves, and I'm sure this European football club also wants to make a name for themselves too. I mean, come on, all these guys, they're pretty wealthy, right? And they know. They hear the story. Their financial advisors telling them, maybe it's not so good to have their entire savings in fiat. Maybe you should be diversifying. Maybe you should be putting into something else like Bitcoin, right? So it just makes sense. We're hearing more and more athletes do this. And that's because they already have a ton of money. It's not like they need to sell off their Bitcoin, but they're taking it because, hey, it's good publicity right now. And also, it's a hedge against inflation, especially with the dollar and fiat, devaluing itself each and every day, while more and more and more and more and more is printed. If you don't believe me, just look at assets. I've been talking about assets for quite some time. Look at anything that you can buy with money right now. It has gone up. Everything has gone up through the roof. You may not notice it so much with food, although I started noticing it with food. You go out to a restaurant, you order takeout, food is at least 50% more expensive than a year ago. But you look at everything else out there, a lot of you guys love Lambos. Go try to find a new Lambo and see how much it is. Try to find a new C8. Try to find a new NSX. Okay? They're all double, triple. Those of you guys that love watches, go try to find a Rolex and see how much it is. Every asset has gone up through the roof because people are spending their money, and a lot of people don't want to hold any cash right now. So there you go. And supply shortages. You could say that, but still, there is definitely a lot of inflation going on right now. Also, Peter Thiel's Palantir also is going to accept Bitcoin. And kind of relating to this, so according to, man, I feel like I need to sneeze. And that would be really loud if I did. Peter Thiel told Bloomberg that it's trying to prepare for a Black Swan event. And Palantir is a data analytics software company. You know, what's funny is, you know who else is a data analytics software company? MicroStrategy. But Peter Thiel is worried that we're going to have a collapse of something, a Black Swan event with the dollar, with the stock market, with whatever global economy. So he's trying to prepare. Actually, I did some research. They recently just bought $50 million worth of gold, but they're also now accepting Bitcoin because they plan on keeping all the Bitcoin, right? It's hard for a public traded company to actually buy Bitcoin right now because of the accounting practices, but no one says you can't just accept it, right? So this is also pretty positive. Peter Thiel, obviously a big tech investor, recognizes a lot of innovation before it starts, right? Now he's starting to warm up to Bitcoin. And you know who else is warming up to Bitcoin? One of Peter Thiel's greatest investments, or the greatest, yes, one of his greatest investments, Facebook. Remember Facebook, their DEM, you know, their stable coin. It was renamed, but we don't hear much about it. But guess what? They're also working on a digital wallet. And Facebook's David Marcus says it's ready to come to market. So what does that mean? Well, I think a lot of us forgot about Facebook. Yeah, they were one of the first of the big tech companies to come out and say, hey, we're going to get into crypto. But not just buy Bitcoin or create a wallet, but they're creating a stable coin that they're actually urging the Fed to actually adopt. So rather than come out with a digital USD, just accept Facebook's DEM, which has a lot of people very uneasy about that, even though their plan is to make it decentralized. But now I think they changed to something else. But anyways, Facebook is involved. We know Amazon's involved. We know Apple's involved. We know Microsoft is involved. And even Walmart, who's not a tech giant. They're just a giant overall. They're getting involved. And Facebook is ready to debut. So let's see what comes from this. Facebook, whether you like them or not, worth over a trillion dollar company, one of the largest companies in the world, with a lot of users still, right? This is going to bring a lot of attention to digital wallets and crypto overall. So this is also coming. All right, so what else is there? Looking at this article, Ethereum has a liquidity crisis. What does that mean? Well, this is actually a good thing. The less liquidity there is, the higher it goes. And this is something I've shown you guys for quite some time. If you look at the reserves, this first one is for Bitcoin. So the blue line is the reserves on exchanges. And you can see it was dropping until about May of 2021. Then it spiked up a little bit. And now it has started to drop once again. It started dropping, right? But overall, the reserves of Bitcoin on the exchanges is much lower than last year and years before. And as it gets lower and lower, that's how the price goes up, because everything is affected by the spot market right now. Not so much the OTC market, and not so much how many people are holding. But if you look at that compared to Ethereum, you could see that it's just a steady decline. Just keeps going down and down and down and down and down. Okay? So, what does this mean? Well, if it ever gets to a point where there's just no liquidity on exchanges, guess what's going to happen? Ethereum is going to be at the moon too, right? So this has been happening a lot with Ethereum, especially with their burning, with the new staking of E 2.0, and also with all the DeFi projects and NFT projects that just keep getting hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter. People are storing their ETH in their wallets, their MetaMask wallet or other wallets, and they're also just storing things on the DEXs and AMMs and yield farms and the beacon chain, and it just makes a whole lot of sense. And as more and more of that's going on, the less reserves there are on exchanges, and that is definitely having an effect on the price. So just want to talk about that real quick. I was looking at Vechain. For those of you guys that are Vechain fans, well, they just delivered another one where they're tracking premium olive oil, right? So Vechain is all about supply chain, but they're gone beyond that. Before, not too long ago, earlier this month, they're targeting a multi-billion-dollar Chinese pet food market. And of course, they're already in groceries, they're in utilities, they're in tea, they're in insurance. I mean, they're pretty much in everywhere. And of course, they're in NFTs right now too, which is really starting to get, catch on fire. Just like every other project out there, they're really starting to catch on fire. Now, what else is there? I did mention about Solana, right? Why is Solana pumping? Well, guess what? It's due to NFTs again. Last time it pumped up, it was due to something called degenerative apes. Now it's Sollamas. So there's another hot NFT mint today, but unfortunately it seems like there's some issues, so they had to be reminted. But regardless, people are dying over these new digital llamas called Sollamas. It's actually a pretty clever name if you think about it. But anyways, whenever there is some new NFT, like very hot NFT release, usually this happens. I've been noticing a lot more of this, so I believe this is the reason why Solana pumped up to almost $80 today. Wow. So even though you don't like NFTs, like the fact that you're holding onto the platform that is supporting the NFT and you're getting benefit from it. So think about that. This is why I love protocol plays and platform plays, because you have NFTs and DeFi on top of it that's giving use case and people want it, right? And that's why price goes up. So this is what happened. And of course, I'm trying to jump in on the game. I am George number 001. Hey, someone placed another bid, 0.7245 Ethereum for my very first NFT that is on OpenSea. It's a fantastic NFT and the rarest of them all. So if you guys want to check it out, please do so. And what else is there? In case you guys missed why Audius is pumping up, it's because they formed a pretty big partnership with TikTok. We know how big TikTok is right now. Okay, they're equivalent of Instagram. You could argue that they're even above Instagram in terms of usage right now. I know this is the only thing I look at when I'm really bored. But now creators of TikTok can pull original music straight from Audius. I told you guys I love Audius because they have real users. And they're about to get a lot more users, which is why it has been pumping quite a lot within the last few days, in case you didn't know. All right, lastly, I saw this. Does Bitcoin belong in your 401k? I know a lot of you guys are worried about taxes and trading. When you take profits, there's capital gains that you have to report on and so forth. Well, if you're trading or buying with your 401k or your IRA or even your Roth IRA, you can worry about taxes later when you retire, right? So if you are interested, then definitely check out my partner, I Trust Capital, which allows you to do exactly that. You can self-trade crypto, and you can simply hold it until you're ready to sell. And they have a ton of crypto out there with over 2 billion in transactions now and over $1 billion in assets under management, I believe, last time I checked. So if you guys are interested, check out I Trust Capital. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. Let's do some Q&A. Oh, man. I'll tell you, the show I'm addicted to right now is Undercover Billionaire. So season 1 was good, really good. And season 2 is kind of weird because it's jumping between three people. But I'm really interested just watching Grant Cardone. But man, it kind of shows you. You know what? It's easy. It's easy when you have money to start something. It's very, very, very hard to start with nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing, with $100 in your pocket. But these billionaires are proving that it can be done. It can be done. It just takes some tenacity, some hustle, some creativity, some help, right? You surround yourself with the right people. Man, you could pretty much do anything. I love that show. If you guys didn't watch it yet, it's on Discovery. Make sure you do so. I've been watching on Discovery Plus, but that is a good show. That is a good show. All right, anyways, scrolling down. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Joshua says, I'm ashamed to say I own Facebook. Hey, Facebook has been on a tear last year. I looked at their stock, up 40%. Not bad, not bad. Does Polygon have a future after Ethereum 2.0? Yes, they do. You know why? Because they do have a lot of projects on top of it already. And Mark Cuban is heavily invested in Polygon as well. It doesn't mean, right now, it doesn't mean that people are only, or projects are only going to Polygon because they're trying to save on fees. No, it doesn't mean that at all. Now there's a robust ecosystem too. So, yes, they will have a future after Ethereum 2.0. Jeremy says, new 992s are impossible to find. Any 911s are impossible to find. And the ones that you find are like 50 or 100,000 over MSRP. This is what I'm saying about assets. Especially rich people that have a lot of money. They're putting all their money into assets right now. Every dime into assets. Whether it's cars, watches, real estate, crypto, stocks, basketball cards, Pokemon cards, whatever you could think of. Okay? They're like crazy, crazy expensive. And that's because no one wants to have that cash on hand. I mean, I think you do need to have some cash on hand because if there is a black swan event or a correction or dip, you want to be able to take advantage of that, right? But outside of that, everyone else is putting all their money into assets. So, yeah, that's what's happening right now. That's what's happening right now. Ben needs some oil for a shot up to the moon. Be nice and slick. Someone says the Sollamas drop was CF. That's what it sounds like from that article, but it definitely still pumped Solana. That's for sure. Danielle says, hi George, love your show. Love you back. What do I think about Engine? I do like Engine. I know they're not high flying these days, but Engine has a lot of promise. Their new Infinity Chain, a collaboration with Polkadot. They still have a lot of NFTs. They have a universal wallet. They're doing a lot. They're doing a lot. Someone says TikTok is ridiculously addictive. Yes, it is. You can waste an hour on TikTok like it's nothing. It is really, really, really addictive. I love watching, it's like the things I love watching is more like business stuff. Like Gary Vee, a lot of his stuff, Grant Cardone. There's the other guys that does a lot of business stuff. Airbnb, real estate, in short bites. I actually like those a lot because you just get them nonstop, one after another. Gets you motivated and thinking. All right, what did I miss? What did I miss here? I own some large cap cryptos, but considering ASIC mining, I've done GPU minings before. Same with me. Why did I quit? It was just not good to do it in the house, especially during summer. Just not good. And then plus, I was doing it during 2014 when things are really, really low. It just become unprofitable, right? So you always have to take that into account. You're paying for electricity. You're paying for cooling, right? If you could get adequate cooling. But you also have to consider your profitability. If you're mining in the negative, in the red, then you should not be mining at all, right? So you have to take that into account. But right now, I've been hearing it's very, very profitable. Very profitable. Payback is really fast. How's the Model S? It's really good. It's really good. It's a really good daily driver car. That's how I would put it. It's not the best car in the world, but to get a really fast, nice daily car, it's really nice. Thoughts on TrueFi so far? It's been doing good. Recently, it's pumped up because of the the new investment and Coinbase listing. So it has pumped up quite a bit. But I always thought that project was interesting. Any good buys right now? Yeah. Just like last night. Yeah, when things are low, take advantage, right? Now, when you look at it like, okay, versus 30 days ago, they're not a good value. Well, that's but I was telling you guys that. When we were down for 2-3 months, right? I've said this is a good pickup period. Go ahead and buy. Now we're like 100% higher than that. But the good news is not every project has recovered to its previous high. So there is still a lot of room to grow. But you don't want to FOMO in. You want to sprout your buys or dollar cost average over a long haul, and then you'll be fine. What would I DCA this week? That's coming tonight. So I was going to DCA. So you guys have to tune in tonight, and you'll see. Maddie says, do the millionaires on a show use their contracts or truly start? They truly start. And they're billionaires. Although some of them aren't really billionaires, but they're really wealthy, like 100 millionaires. And they do start. That's what I love. They start with zero. I mean, $100. They can't use their contacts. They can't call their buddies to give them deals or anything. They're starting from scratch. And in most cases, they have to figure out what to do with their $100 because they don't have a place to stay. They don't have food. And if you pay $100 for a hotel room, you're done. You're out of money, right? So they're like really trying to scramble. That's what I love. Like the very first season, the guy had to sleep in his car for a week. He was struggling. He was eating ramen noodles and getting sick from eating them. He didn't even have hot water to cook the ramen noodles. I mean, that's how bad it was. And he was, going to homeless shelters for food. I mean, think about that. Like, second season, Grant was pretty smart. He went to an RV park. The guy liked him, let him stay in an RV. And then he just started building up from there. And some of the two other girls, they did their own thing, But yeah, they're starting with zero. They can't do anything, and they can't use their name either. So he can't just go to people and say, "I'm Grant Cardone." No, that's the whole point. You're supposed to be a nobody. So that's why I love that. I love that show. I know I'm talking a lot about the show, but it's a really good show. I think everyone should watch it. Yeah, the first one, it was in Erie, Pennsylvania. And I hear that Bulldog Barbecue is still around. I was actually looking at it the other day. Will you buy Starlink shares when they come out? I don't think it's going to be a separate company. My friend is really into SpaceX, and I don't like the valuation. It's already evaluated at like 100 billion. So he was telling me about it. I'm like, I'm not getting in, If it was valued at 1 billion, then there's a lot of potential to go to 1 trillion, right? But 100 billion to a trillion even is still only 10x. You get a 10x in crypto like in a month. So I don't know. That just doesn't appeal to me that much. Patricia, I love listening to you. You kept me from becoming paper hands or having paper. I'm good. That's good. That's what I don't want people to have. LaMelo Ball is the golden child NBA. It makes sense to grab the NFTs right now. I've been trying to grab his rookie cards. Not the NFT, but actual ones. I've been buying boxes of cards just so that, hopefully he becomes a really good player and then to go shoot up in value. Did Vitalik join Doge for real as the foundation member? I think so. I think so. Do you know why Vet made a push to 28 cents on April 16th? No, I don't know. It's too specific, Johnny. I can't answer that. It's too specific. Mina seems to be very promising, but they have a problem with scaling right now and security. So those are two things holding it back. Flip my Sol profits into ETH or hold all of the Sol. It depends on your makeup. It depends on your portfolio distribution. You know, whether or not you're following the 50, 25, 25 rule. So it depends on that. If you're too short on Bitcoin or any other category, maybe you should think about them. But if not, then sure, you could do that. Taking some off the top for Solana right now wouldn't be a bad idea. You know it's going to come down. Eventually it has to take a break, right? But long term, I even said this yesterday, Solana, I think, will be right at Cardano level, you know, in the future. So that's still 3x from here. That's 300%. So that would put Solana around, what, 250-ish? That, I think, is a real possibility. Real possibility. And if the market continues higher, Bitcoin is above 100, 200,000, then everything will be 10x higher. So that will be at 700 Solana. That could be possible. Is it a bad time to buy Audius? Yes, I've always said don't buy something when it's pumping. When you buy it right after it pumps, a lot of times you're buying at top and you have to wait because then it comes down. Always wait until these hot projects cool off before you get in. No matter how seemingly, like, it doesn't matter if it's seemingly like it just keeps going up forever, right? It always comes down. So just wait. Just wait. All right. Trias, I thought was okay project. Very technical, complicated by a very smart guy. But, you know, in the grand scheme of things, it's one of dozens of blockchains that is trying to do the same thing. It's a protocol meant for DeFi and dApps. So until they get some traction, I don't know. Do you think FTX could catch up Binance in a few years? Yes, it's possible, but FTX doesn't have their own chain. That's what separates Binance from FTX. If FTX comes out their own chain and have their own dApps, it's a different story. But right now, they don't. And Binance chain has DeFi on top, NFTs on top. That has helped drive BNB up tremendously. FTX does not have that yet. But maybe they will. Maybe they will. Caps. It's an NFT data transfer play on DOT. They're trying for a parachain, super low cap, but looks interesting. That sounds very familiar to me. I swear I've looked at that before, but let's look at it again. Terra Nova. Is this the one? It does look interesting. Where did I see that? NFT decentralized data transmission blockchain. I think I even talked about this project before. Yeah, I think they redid their website. I'm like, it looks so familiar to me. Yes, this is the one with a time capsule. Unless you're looking at a different project, Charlie. This is the one, yes, where you could have a time capsule, which is interesting because you could have like a death protocol. I remember, I did do a segment on them. So that if you wanted to like say, hey, in 20 years, release my private key to my children or something, it'll automatically do that. And it could do it for other things too. So that was kind of interesting to me. But I haven't kept up with this project. They're still relatively small. What's the lowest price you think ETH hits by the end of the bull run? I don't know. 10,000. I think 10,000 is reasonable. Buy more Axie now or not? Wait until it settles down. Everything always settles down. You know how people complain sometimes about, hey, why is something not moving? It's because it's settling down after a gigantic move. And that will happen. Axie will have that same period where it's just a long time, it's not going to move, and that's when you want to pick up. Because when it is ready, then it's going to make some serious money. All All right, last few questions. Thoughts on why Rune hasn't started running again after market recovery? Because it was hacked pretty seriously. That's why. Not everything moves at the same rate. Thorchain is still coming up. Solve.care. Okay. All right, that's pretty much it. Almost 7,000 people tuning in. Welcome, guys. Welcome. All right, to sum up, unfortunately, you missed most of the show. To sum up, what hasn't happened in the last 11 months for Bitcoin? Well, it's a technical one. It's a technical one, and it has to do with this. MACD is flipping. In fact, it has flipped to the green on the weekly, and has not done this since September of 2020 when Bitcoin was still at $10,000. And I remember when I was streaming around here at $10,000, all the naysayers said, no, Bitcoin could never go back up to 20,000. It's impossible. It would just go have another bull trap and fall down. Guess what? It broke through and it kept going and going and going and going and going. And the naysayers are saying the same thing now. No, we'll never get back to 64. That was the top. Now it's a bull trap. Just wait until we break it, and then 100,000 will be around the corner, and then, you know what, the naysayers will have nothing else to say, right? So stay with the plan, and that is to invest long-term, invest for the future, invest for financial freedom and life-changing wealth, and that's the best way to do it. All right, guys, that is pretty much it. I don't know, Brian, I don't know anything about Nafter. Ready to stake your VPong zombie? Sure, I guess. Thanks for tuning in. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard